This is Don White and welcome to God's Money. Today I want to talk about one of my favorite subjects, Alice in Wonderland. Yep, one of my favorite books, I admit it. Alice in Wonderland is a great old book. It was written for kids, but I'm going to tell you something. This story is pretty advanced if you really think about it. But if you remember the story, or even if you don't, let me kind of give you the basic premise. There was this girl, her name was Alice, and she fell down the rabbit hole. And when she got to the bottom of the rabbit hole, she found herself in Wonderland. And so she walked all around Wonderland and she was just having a good old time and so forth. And she came upon the Cheshire Cat. The Cheshire Cat was up inside of a tree and he looked down at Alice and he said, "Alice, where are you on your way to?" And Alice said, "Oh, I'm on my way to somewhere." "Somewhere?" the cat said. "Where is somewhere?" She says, "I don't know, but I'm on my way there." To which the Cheshire Cat said, "Alice, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there." To me, that's one of the great expressions of all time. If you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. The difference between truly successful people and unsuccessful, I think the one singular thing that separates successful people and unsuccessful people is that successful people have goals and they stick to them. They know where they're going. They've got a very specific end in mind. In fact, Stephen Covey said it this way: begin with the end in mind. Know where you're going and then work towards getting to that place. Because the truth is, most people don't know where they're going. And so as a result, any road will get them there. Spend time making goals. Now, when we talk about goal setting, we're talking about written goals. We're not talking about goals just floating around in your head. One of my favorite expressions is say it out loud. You got a goal? Say it out loud. Tell other people what your goals are. Write those goals down. Post them on your refrigerator. Do whatever you got to do to make sure that people know what your goals are. And then I'm going to give you a little acronym. Actually, it's an acrostic. And this acrostic is called M.A.P.S. M-A.P.S. If you want to have truly successful goals, you need to make them measurable. That's the M. You got to make them achievable. That's the A. You got to make them purposeful. There's got to be a reason why you're doing them. And then finally, they need to be strategic. M-A.P.S. Measurable, achievable, purposeful, and strategic. Make your goals measurable. What we mean by that is you need to be able to know where you're going, be able to figure out what are the goalposts and so forth as we're getting them. You know, imagine, for example, that you're playing basketball and there's nobody keeping score. Huh? What good is playing basketball if nobody's keeping score? I mean, it's kind of silly. The fact of the matter is that the excitement of basketball is knowing what the score is. In fact, the excitement of any sport is really knowing what the score is and knowing how much time is left and how long have we got to catch up or to stay ahead or whatever. In fact, wouldn't you agree that probably the most boring game is the one that's 50-0? Who wants to really watch a game like that? Unless, of course, I'm the avid fan of the one that has 50 points. We need to understand that keeping track and knowing where we're going starts with making goals which are measurable. Got to know what they are. Second, you got to make them achievable. If I'm an offensive lineman, saying that I'm going to catch a touchdown pass in every game is probably not a very good goal. Why? Because offensive linemen don't catch passes. Make goals that are achievable for you in your particular realm, whatever they are. Certainly you don't want to say, I want to be a gazillionaire, I want to make billions of dollars, if you've never even made 1,000. And then have a purpose. There has to be a reason why you're doing it. One of my greatest reasons for setting the goals that I set is that I really want to do things which are going to better my family, that are going to help me in my walk with the Lord, that are going to really change other things. And then finally, make sure they're strategic. Make sure they fit within one another. Make sure your goals kind of align with your values and the things that you really think are important. M.A.P.S. Having goals which are measurable, achievable, purposeful, and strategic. But most of us are living in Alice in Wonderland syndrome. We're on our way to somewhere. We have no idea where somewhere is, and so we float through life without purpose. This morning we were talking about this whole idea of really knowing what your calling is and knowing what you're here for and so on. And I was amazed as I was listening to the guys go around the room who were struggling with this issue. Why am I here? We need to have purpose in our lives. We need to know why we're here. We need to have a very specific thing of knowing what we're called for. You know, Paul, when he named the church, he called it the ecclesia. It wasn't even a word, it just means to be called Are you one of those persons that are called? And if you are, what are you called to? Examine what it is that you want to have in your life. Don't live in the Alice in Wonderland syndrome. Don't be on your way to somewhere. Have a very specific place that you want to go and grow to. And when you do that, I'm telling you, things will happen in your life which are powerful. And when you take these things on financially as well, you're going to see that the financial part is really secondary to the goal part. Know where you're going, and the financial part will begin to take care of itself. Okay, folks, we'll see you next time. And remember, it's not your money, it's God's money.